Welcome to the BRASH Sports Wild Card Weekend Special. We are back live, coming at you for the first time in months. I don't even know. I've lost track.
It's been
this episode is brought to you by nobody because we lost all of our sponsors after taking a long break. No one wants to touch BRASH Sports right now. We're getting no money, so this episode is coming to you pro bono. We're doing it for free, volunteering our time and efforts to bring you the best goddamn sports content out there on the internet. Brandon, how the fuck are you doing, man? It's been a while.
It has, man. I mean, this is our first official episode of the new year. Happy 2024 to you.
Dude, and happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I mean, we haven't done any of those, so whatever.
I mean, we've certainly sealed ourselves as the most inconsistent, unreliable sports podcast out there, if not podcast in general. So
yeah, and that was bound to happen. Like when we started this thing, we knew, hey, if we're going to be up for the podcast awards, I don't know what they're called, but the podcast equivalent of like the Grammys, we would win most inconsistent podcast. We would have expected that from the start.
Yeah, we beginning of the season, we gave our word we would not let it slip away, and sure as shit, we let things slip away.
Boy, did it slip. It was
so next season, we will not mention any of that because then we're digging ourselves a hole. We don't want to be put in that early grave next year. So,
well, here's the good news, man. It's the year of the dragon. It's time to bring it back. Time to get focused. And we're going to make this episode great and every episode moving forward great. So what are we getting into today?
Well, since we've missed the last, 8 weeks of the NFL season, we're now officially in the playoffs. It is a wild card weekend.
Yes.
And 2 games have already happened. We're already 2 games deep. We were going to record yesterday, to be fair, before the first 2 games, but things just didn't work out scheduling wise. So, whatever. We did already fill out our brackets, so those were set in stone prior to those 2 kickoffs. And we're going to dive into that. There's a bit of the BRASH Sports page I wanted to get to, kind of have to get to, with the coaching carousel. It's a shame we don't have Daniel here because we know he would love to dive deep into that carousel. And the bold predictions update, our bold predictions before the NFL season started, which, spoiler alert, mine do not hold up well.
They're hilariously awful for both of us.
Well, you're still in the running for a few. We will go over our NFL playoffs brackets and thought about doing a little bit of a wild card weekend parlay, but then we decided against it. So,
well, once 2 games already happened,
you're right. It would have been nice because there was 6 games there. We could have done 1 pick per game. Make things a little bit more interesting. But, we will do a divisional round parlay. How about that? Okay?
I have a feeling that, and no spoilers, but I have a feeling that one of my bets would have already missed because there was a coin flip that I really liked yesterday that did not hit. So we'll save that for later, though. Stay tuned.
So, let's do you want to get into the sports BRASH Sports page, or should we talk about the games that happened yesterday? Which one do you want to do first here?
I say let's save the games for yesterday for right before the bracket. Okay. So that way it'll transition nice and easy.
Fair enough. Let's bust open that BRASH Sports page, and then we got a few NFL coaching moves to discuss here. Biggest ones of all, of course, start with Bill Belichick. He is leaving the New England Patriots after 24 years. I mean, that's the end of a huge era there in Foxborough. Fans, I guess in a way it's kind of bittersweet for them. If I had to imagine, I don't know any Patriots fans, thank God. But I have to imagine they were probably ready to move on especially when they saw Brady go down to Tampa and win a Super Bowl right away, and they weren't doing shit in New England anymore. They were ready for a nice fresh start, but it's still got to be a weird feeling for them the start of next year, not seeing Belichick around the clubhouse anymore, and in the press conferences and whatnot. But I'm frankly, as a non-Patriots fan, I don't give a shit. And I'm happy he's gone. I'm happy he's and I hope he's out of the NFL. I'm sick of seeing the guy's face and hearing the guy's voice. I mean, I'm sure he's a really good guy if you know him, but I don't. I just know him as an asshole, cheating head coach. So good riddance, Bill Belichick.
Wow. See, now that's why people tune in for hot takes like that, because when you go to the, major media networks, all you hear and all we've heard for a week has been just ass kicking, just fucking tossing Bill Belichick salad, tongue in the sphincter, just kissing his ass relentlessly. He's the GOAT. He can do whatever. He should be able to stay as long as he wants. And I somewhat agree with that, but you're right. Like, between the press conferences and I'm just thinking about the next game, and the cheating scandals, and he's never had a good season without a good quarterback. I guess Matt Castle
11-5 that year,
that year, but Matt Castle was decent. He wasn't terrible, but I think we have to look at Belichick as a really amazing defensive mind. I think he crafted some of the best defenses ever and consistently had teams in the top 10 and top 5 in the NFL defense. He basically proved, like, hey, without Brady, I'm clueless on offense. I have no idea. And as the league shifted to become a more offensive league, he didn't adjust because he's a stubborn old prick.
Yeah.
And you can't just consistently miss on offensive draft picks and consistently fail to draft and develop good players on the offensive side of the ball. Defense it helps, but it's not the only thing that can win you a championship anymore. Those days are gone. You have to be focused on the offensive side of the ball. And he dug in his heels, refused to change, refused to give up power of, drafting and developing offensive players. And it fucking tanked them. So good riddance is strong. But I don't feel the same way that most people do, where they're like, oh, it sucks to lose a legend. The NFL is going to be different without him. No, it won't. It'll be better. It will. The NFL will be better. And God bless him for winning those 6 rings. But I'm happy the Patriots are dog shit. They were good for so long. Fuck them.
Hope he's gone. Don't think he will be. If I had to put money on it, I think he will be a head coach of a team as early as next season. A lot of whispers out there. He could be headed to the ATL down south. But
I've heard that too. I cannot picture that in my mind.
Can't picture that one at all.
Not at all.
We'll see. I mean, the only reason I think he would want to come back at this point is because his ego's so big and he doesn't have the all-time wins record. So he wants to stay in just so he can solidify that.
Here's and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but
too late.
I think if I'm Belichick, I don't go anywhere except San Diego. If San Diego will have me, because you've been in Boston for 25 years, go somewhere warm, somewhere where you already have a great quarterback, somewhere where there's a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. The problem there was just like schemes and bad coaching. He's not a bad coach, like situationally. And he already has a good quarterback. So to me, I think he'd be a good fit for San Diego. And if I were him, I'd fucking take some palm trees this late in my life after spending 25 years in Boston. That's for fucking sure. So San Diego to me is the only move that I can possibly see in my mind that would make sense and be a good fit. Atlanta is picturing him on the sidelines for the Atlanta Falcons puts my fucking brain in a pretzel. I don't like it.
I do agree with you. The only problem is that in order for him to go to San Diego, he would have to hop in a time machine, go back what, 5 years and then go to San Diego. So that's probably not going to happen, but I know what you're talking about. He's going to have to go to the LA Chargers, which nobody calls them LA Chargers. They're San Diego. I agree.
Oh my God. That's so I didn't even know what you were doing there. I was like, what is he talking about? Time machine? Yeah, dude. Fuck. They need to move the team back to San Diego.
It's got to go. There's the LA Rams and the San Diego Chargers, okay? I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
I know. There's still palm trees and nice weather in Los Angeles, so there we go.
Pete Carroll, Josh. Pete Carroll also gone. He has left his post in Seattle after 13 years, 13 successful seasons. This one was actually a surprise. The Belichick one we saw coming, writing was on the wall all year. This one came as a bit of a shocker to me and you when we heard this one, because there was conflicting reports here. Like, he was also blindsided, but then there was also reports they were going to keep him on as a team advisor or some shit. And then he was interviewed recently about it, and he said that it was non-football people making those decisions, which tells you he's kind of bitter. And that tells me he's probably not sticking around to advise the team any further. But I don't know. Seattle, it makes you wonder, were they planning this all year, or was that just a spur of the moment? Like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get rid of Pete Carroll and let's start fresh. Frankly, I think it has a lot to do with all these young, up-and-coming head coaches that are getting signed all around the league, and that's just the direction the league's going. And, with Belichick gone, it was really Pete Carroll and Andy Reid as the two old men in the room. And, so the Seahawks wanted to start fresh and go younger at that role.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lot of similarities to Belichick. He's a defensive-minded coach, etc. He hasn't won in a while. But I think he'll get a head coaching job somewhere else. Like, I think if I were a GM or an owner, I would rather have Pete Carroll than Bill Belichick.
Absolutely. So 100%.
For whatever reason, I don't know. I was thinking about potential landing spots, and for whatever reason, the Carolina Panthers are really sticking out in my mind for Pete Carroll. I can just picture him in that Carolina blue down there in Charlotte. I don't know why, but you heard it here first. I have none of my sources are saying that. I have nothing to back that up, but it's just a gut feeling and a vision speaking to me.
Old Pete Carolina? Pete Carolina. Watch out. That'll be the headline.
Dude, when we flip open that Brash Sports page, Pete Carolina.
Pete Carolina. All right. The other teams that are making moves, the head coaching position. We already mentioned the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, my Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders, whatever the fuck. Tennessee Titans.
You need a time machine, Brandon.
Hey, you watch it. The Tennessee Titans got rid of Mike Vrabel, which a lot of people were surprised by that. I wasn't. I saw that one coming. It's weird. I really did. Yeah.
You were on that early.
And they knocked the Jags out of the playoffs. They sealed the division title for the Houston Texans. And I thought perhaps ownership wouldn't like that. They were like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are you winning this meaningless game? If anything, you're just hurting our draft position here. See you later, Mike Vrabel. Get the hell out of this clubhouse. So he gone. You mentioned before the San Diego Chargers also searching for their next frontman, and the Carolina Panthers. There they are again. So those are the teams that still have vacancies. I did not mention the Vegas Raiders because all signs are pointing to Antonio Pierce getting that permanent spot after a successful run as interim head coach the second half of was signed as their coach. It says that we lost connection. Josh, can you hear me?
You just came back. I was quietly nodding to silence and a frozen screen. So I don't know how it's going to look after we edit. And you're You're still frozen. Wait,
Am-
nope. Nope. Now you're moving.
all right,
Now
all
you're
right.
moving. All right. Now we're talking. We're back,
All right,
baby.
all right. So all I was saying is that Gerard Mayo, one day after Belichick left, he was signed as the next head coach in New England, which was actually pretty surprising. I didn't see them moving on that fast, but good for them. Good for them just getting it out of the way. Let's start planning for the offseason. That's the way to do it. A lot of people are speculating that perhaps Bill Belichick had in his contract that Gerard Mayo was guaranteed that role at least for a year after he left.
Yeah.
That'd be one hell of a stipulation in a contract right there. But
no,
I wouldn't put it past Belichick to do something like that.
No, I heard that too. And that wasn't from Belichick. That came down from the ownership. They said, hey, we want it in your contract that if you leave, we want Gerard Mayo to be your successor.
Okay, but what if Gerard Mayo was like, no, I don't want to,
No, I think, they had already been in talk. No,
Get over here, Gerard.
No, apparently Gerard Mayo's very close with the Kraft family, and they had already been talking about this. So the Belichick thing had been in the works for a while, like Belichick and then passing it off to Gerard Mayo. Just it hadn't been leaked to the media or anything. So yeah, that was already like a done deal. So yeah, I don't know. It is weird. It is weird to have that already planned out because, like, I don't know. What if a head coach comes on the market that you like more than Gerard Mayo? What if you want Harbaugh, right? What if Harbaugh decides today I'm stepping down from Michigan and he would have gone to the Patriots potentially? I don't know. Who knows? But now they're out of the running for Harbaugh, who might be a better head coach, and Robert Kraft might be kicking himself. I don't know. I don't know why you would ever put that in a contract, fucking ever. But, Patriots are weird. They do Patriot things.
It might work out for him in the end.
It could.
All right. And moving on to our next story here. This one is exciting for me. We have a new leader in DC, Josh. For the first time in 25 long, struggling, painful years, the football franchise in Washington is taking shit seriously. They have hired a legit general manager. The Commanders have hired Adam Peters as their new GM. This happened this past Friday. Peters declined requests to interview with the Titans and the Cardinals last offseason. The Raiders and the Chargers, based out of San Diego, as we all know, they both had requested interviews with him this offseason. But after meeting with the new brain trust for the Commanders, he decided to go ahead and sign the dotted line and become their next GM. He won Super Bowls while working in New England and Denver. He spent the first 11 years of his career as an NFL scout. And one season with the Broncos as director of college scouting. He joined the 49ers in 2017 as the vice president of player personnel. And he is the first major front office hire made by, or was the first major hire rather, by John Lynch when John Lynch was brought in as the 49ers GM in 2017. And he becomes the first major hire for us with our new ownership group and the beginning of this nice fresh start in the new Josh Harris era. So I'm stoked, man. They're finally doing things the right way, the burgundy and gold. I've been saying it for years. It was never going to happen with our shitty owner and Dan Snyder. The guy just, he didn't know jack squat about operating a football team, but he couldn't get out of his own fucking way. He thought he did. And he wouldn't just bring in somebody that knows what they're doing, let them run the organization, and you just sign the fucking paychecks. So that's what we got now. Next up, we'll be looking to get that head coach in line. And fortunately, we'll have a general manager who knows his shit making that decision. So hats off to Josh Harris and that ownership group. I am super stoked.
Yeah, man, this is an awesome move. I'm very happy for you. I don't have much to say because it's not really been on my radar. It's not all that important to me, but I will say this. The NFL is better. I think across the board, the NFL is better when the Redskins are good. So bring back the name, bring back the traditions, bring back everything. make the Redskins great again, because the NFL is just better with them good.
Just overall, the NFC East in general, when that division is super, super competitive, the NFL is better.
For sure.
So yes, let's bring that back. All 4 teams have a chance. Not, it's not just Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. It's how they've been juggling it for the past.
Hey, you guys have
decades.
a division title more recently than we do, so.
Really, ours was 12 years ago.
Oh, I think 2011.
Uh-huh.
I think 2011 was our last one, so that would be 13 years ago.
All right. This is an interesting story here, Josh. This is the last part of our Brash Sports page. I don't know if you heard about this, but the NFL, they're looking to buy a little stake in ESPN. Per the New York Post, which you can really take anything they report with a grain of salt, the NFL is in advanced talks with ESPN to purchase partial ownership of that sports media Goliath. Per the report, a partnership would include ESPN taking control of NFL media, which includes NFL.com, NFL Network, and Red Zone. The league would in turn take an equity stake in ESPN, but such a partnership would muddy the waters of ESPN's role in covering the NFL as an objective journalistic enterprise, which, of course, could cause some problems. That was the first thing I thought of when I read this story. And I just don't know how this whole thing will pan out. I mean, if it's true, if they really are in discussion about making this move, it's going to happen. Absolutely. The fact that they would even entertain it. What surprised me here, Josh, let me get your thoughts on this, is why the hell the NFL's so fucking big, they don't need ESPN.
No.
They already have the NFL network. They could create 3 more networks if they want. Why do this? I don't know. I don't really understand the advantage for them to do this other than to direct the narrative for, another sports media giant such as ESPN, which, a lot of conspiracy theories about to be floating around about that.
Yeah, but it's not like the ESPN doesn't kiss the NFL's ass every chance it gets. So
That's true.
They're not really,
because they have football and they don't want to lose it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This is the very first time I'm hearing about any of this, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. But yeah, my first thought was why? Like, it doesn't seem like the NFL would need to do that. It did remind me, however, to cancel my NFL premium account because the season's over, so I don't need Red Zone channel anymore. So I need to do that today, so I don't get charged another $17 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. I also, ESPN now has a gambling wing partnered with Penn Sports. So is that going to cause issues? I don't know. Because I'm sure the NFL probably has a lot of very strict rules about gambling within that side, like the media side of
I was thinking that too.
So I don't know. We'll just see how
playing with fire.
Yeah, but it's I have no thoughts. I have no predict. I don't know what any of this means. But I will say this: if the NFL wants to partner with Brash Sports, Damn
it! I was going to say that. You took it from me.
I will take those phone calls, Brandon. You'll take those phone calls, and of course, the NFL can email Cindy at Brash Sports as long as Roger Goodell attaches a copy of his resume. So that's
NFL. If you're interested, no need for a sit down. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So
when you hear this, NFL executives, when you hear this, just know the answer is yes.
You want a piece? You could buy the whole damn lot. We don't give a shit.
For pennies. I mean, we'll sell out for next to nothing.
And we won't miss an episode. I guarantee you. Ever again.
We'll get those sponsors back.
I'll quit my full-time job, put all my focus into Brash Sports. All right. No more hiatuses, Josh.
Yeah,
all right, let's get.
We really blew it with that hiatus. We could have had the NFL deal. But
Damn, you're
when we
right.
fucked
They were
it up,
probably thinking about it. They were picking up the phone, about to make a call.
they're
And
like,
wait a second.
wait a second, they haven't recorded since October.
Yeah, what the hell? These guys have been around since Halloween.
Okay.
Bold predictions, Josh. I'm just going to fly through mine real quick because, they were all wrong. You reminded me one that I completely forgot about because it was one that was before the draft even started, but I predicted the Packers would release Aaron Rodgers before the draft. I was wrong. I predicted that Joe Burrow would have, that MVP season, 45 or more touchdowns. For some reason, I remember being 50, but I guess it was 45 or more touchdowns. Obviously, that was wrong. He just was plagued by injuries this year. It was just a rough go for him this season. So, that was like a 2 for that. Didn't happen. Jeff Bezos buying the Commanders rather than the Josh Harris group. Of course, hindsight, I'm super happy that I was wrong about that. But a little bummed by the opening press conference for Josh Harris because I did assume really whoever purchased him, a smart move would just be mentioned that you're interested in moving him back to the district. Neither of those two things happened. And then finally, bold prediction, the Jaguars being in the AFC Championship. Earlier in the season, when they were sitting at 8-3, it looked like there was a real chance of them heading in that direction. And then everything just completely fell apart. I think, again, I put the fucking hex on them. Trevor Lawrence, I believe, was playing injured for majority of this season. And Doug Peterson, he got to go. That last game, that was ugly. I think that should have been the ultimate, you win, we maintain you for another season. You blow this against a 5-win Tennessee Titans team. Too much alliteration there. Then you're out of here. And he blew it big time. Yeah. He really blew it. So, but he sticks around. They blame the defensive and offensive coordinator, or was it just one of the two? Who gives a shit?
I don't know.
Jaguars blew it. So all of my bold predictions, see you later. But you have some that still have a chance.
That's true. And now I do think you got to give yourself some grace because, there was a new team, there was a new ownership coming in, and
well, we already knew that.
Yeah, that's true. And the Packers did trade Aaron Rodgers, so you get a little partial credit. Okay, my bold predictions are wild after looking at them again. I think this is like the second time that we're recapping because we did it at the beginning of the season. But I had the Broncos to make the playoffs, Sean Payton to win Coach of the Year, and Russell Wilson to win Comeback Player of the Year. Now, they did look better, but yikes. Now Russell Wilson's probably not even going to be with the team next year. So
nope,
that's awesome. Number 2, I had the Lions to win the NFC North. So check that one off. But that wasn't bold enough because a lot of people had the Lions win the NFC North. So I also coupled with that, I had Jared Goff as an MVP finalist, putting up huge numbers. There was some talk in the beginning of the season, but it kind of fizzled out fast. He was never a serious contender. Number 3, I was on the same page as you with the Jaguars. I had him being the number 1 seed in the AFC. And then I had doubled down and said Trevor Lawrence would be the MVP. That obviously did not pan out. I think we both thought the AFC South would be tragically bad, and the Jaguars would have no problem winning it. Sure as shit, we were wrong. Next, I had the Jets to win the AFC West with a new quarterback, obviously written before the Aaron Rodgers deal. That didn't play out, even though they got the new quarterback. I said the Bills would struggle to make the wild card. Sean McDermott would be fired after an early playoff exit. So
that I still think happens.
And by the way, they're the number 2 seed, but barely. Like, they had to win their last game to get the number 2 seed. Otherwise, they would have been a wild card. And for a while, people were talking about them missing the play. I mean, I think they were 6-6 at one point, or 5-6. I don't know. They had to win like 6 in a row in order to make it. So I'm giving myself some credit for that one. And if they lose this weekend, They play tomorrow. If they lose tomorrow,
Yeah,
I think
they fucked
Sean
it all up.
McDermott will be gone. So that one, that's my best shot.
Oh, if they lose to the Steelers, he gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Buffalo. Yeah.
Next, I've got the Cardinals finished with the worst record in the NFL. Draft Caleb's cut ties with Kyler Murray. That obviously didn't pan out. Cardinals they're a sneaky fun team to watch. They were actually pretty good. They were competitive in most games, and it looks like they're going to hang on to Kyler Murray. So
he finished the season strong.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to him.
Yeah. So I was dead wrong about that. My Super Bowl prediction is still live. I know you casually skipped over yours, but
sorry,
Yeah.
because I put that in a different category than bold prediction.
Oh, okay.
But, and there was nothing bold really about my Super Bowl prediction. I predicted the Bengals and Eagles. Both finished the seasons very strong last year. Eagles were already defending conference champions. And I had the Bengals beating the Eagles 31-27. Obviously, Bengals didn't even make the playoffs again.
It'd be a very
Burrow was just cursed by injuries all season.
Yeah,
so
it'd be a very different season if Joe Burrow stayed healthy. Who knows what could have happened.
Had I not predicted shit, he would be lighting it up right now in the playoffs. So I just gotta keep his goddamn name out my fucking mouth. Is what I gotta do, Josh.
Yeah, that's true. Well, luckily for me, both of my teams are still alive. I predicted the Chiefs to beat the 49ers. Again, not very bold. 27-23. Mahomes MVP. And then I have Andy Reid retiring on top. So we'll see if that happens. That'll be bold as shit because nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm so sick of the Chiefs.
Me too.
So sick of the Chiefs.
Me too, but they looked good last night.
They did look good. They looked fine. Pacheco looked fucking amazing, and they had a perfect game plan for the Dolphins, and everything worked out. But if they go on and win the Super Bowl this year, I don't see Andy Reid retiring at all. I see him wanting to run it back. Let's do it again. I mean, that guy doesn't look like he's ready to quit anytime soon.
Well, we'll see.
So. Speaking of the Chiefs, yes, they did beat the Dolphins yesterday at Arrowhead. This one, it was like below fucking 8 degrees or some shit. It was pretty fucking cold out there.
The wind chill was like -25 or something. It was one of the coldest games in NFL history.
Yeah, it was the fourth coldest. Did they say fourth coldest? That's what I thought
Something
I heard.
Like
or seventh coldest.
Dude, hey, if you're in the top, if you're in the top 10, I'm impressed.
I was just there. You go, top 10 coldest games. I could feel it just watching it on TV. I could feel that shit. Let's see here. Let's just pull this up because I'm not going to lie. I turned it off after a while. Just like the both games, I'm sorry. They were pretty fucking boring because they were so heavily one-sided. The Chiefs were the late game. They knocked the Dolphins out and their season. The score to that one was 26-7. And the fucking Houston Texans, man. Again, you and I, we were high on them to start the year.
We'll get into that.
But that said, I wasn't high on them to the point of winning their division and then going in and getting a blowout victory in the playoffs. I mean, D'Amico Ryans, what a fucking hire for Houston. Good for them.
And how about CJ Stroud? What a fucking pick. Like
CJ Stroud,
unbelievable this year, dude. He has been so good. Like they found their quarterback. You can tell. He looks the part. It's not like, he's winning.
Right.
Oh, he's winning some games. And he looks like, even if they were losing games, I would just the eye test. He looks like a franchise quarterback. So good for them and good for him.
2 pick sixes thrown by Joe Flacco.
Back-to-back drives too. Just brutal.
I know that it was already over though before he even threw one of those. I mean, it never really looked like the Browns were going to really get anything going. So they lost 45-14. All is said and done. The Texans are riding high, man. I mean, those fans must be pumped. Hopefully they're not getting too carried away. I mean, I'm sorry. I still don't see the Texans going to the Super Bowl. Because when when you got the Chiefs and the Ravens still in there, watch your fucking back. But then again, the Texans are that Cinderella team. So, they definitely have a shot against anybody. So, I'm pulling for them. I like the Texans. I really do.
Yeah, totally. I'd rather see them than the fucking Chiefs. Like, nobody wants to see the Chiefs again. So,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm just so sick of the Chiefs, man. I'm that's just what happens to me, though, especially coming from as a supporter of a team that's been such a loser for the past 3 decades. I guess I'm just sort of envious when you see these teams that are reaching that dynasty status, and I just am like, all right, let's give it to somebody else.
Right.
I don't care who it is. Just let's give another team a shot here.
Well, and dude, if you go back to like the late '80s, early '90s, I'm sure there were people that were like, I'm so sick of the fucking Redskins. They're winning all the time, 3 Super Bowls in 5 years or something like that. Like, it
was actually 3 in
was it
9
3
years,
and 9. Oh,
yeah.
I thought they were closer. Either way, it's like
they went to 4 and 9 too.
Okay, yeah. So people were fucking sick of them. You're allowed to be sick of a team that's winning all the time, and the Chiefs don't really give me any reason to hate them other than Brittany Mahomes. She fucking sucks. I hate her, but other than that, I love Andy Reid. I love Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce is a motherfucking man. But yeah, but beyond that, I'm sick of seeing him in the fucking. Let's switch it up. Let's get some other teams involved. So I'm with you on that, 100%.
Oh well, who gives a shit? So moving right along. So there go 2 of the games, Josh, in our bracket. But we filled our bracket out up, to make sure we held true to our picks. I went 0-2. Surprise, surprise. Sorry, Dolphins fans. Sorry, Browns fans. I feel like had I gone the other way, we'd be having a different discussion right now. But so Dolphins out, Browns out. Let's just, I suppose, now go down the line here, starting with our slate today, kicking off at 4:30. I am so looking forward to this one. It's so weird. A couple days ago, I wasn't looking forward to this game. I'm fucking fired up for this one. The Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. I really wasn't excited about it because I just assumed, I've changed that the Cowboys are just going to steamroll the Packers. Oh. And then, I forgot about the whole fucking Mike McCarthy thing.
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot, like that's got to be fucking with his head a little bit. And there's so much pressure on the Cowboys, no pressure at all on Jordan Love and the Packers playing with house money over here. Packers finishing the season 9-8, and the Cowboys finishing 12-5. Impressively, have yet to lose a home game. Yeah. More pressure just stacked it on. They are a 7.5-point favorite, and this one again kicking off 4:30 Eastern time. Josh, who you got?
I've got the Cowboys, unfortunately, but I think it's a close game. I like the Packers with the spread. I think it'll be a close game because of that pressure. I mean, you couldn't mount more pressure on these Cowboys. You couldn't do it if you tried. The stigma of them losing early in the playoffs lingers. And now you have the former team of the head coach coming into town, in a team that's one of the most historical franchises in the NFL, if not the most. So much pressure on the Cowboys. And I think they crack under pressure. They haven't performed great against good teams. And I think a lot of that has to do with pressure mounting. I think talent-wise, they're much better than the Packers. And I think having, a first year starter doesn't help anybody in the playoffs historically. But Jordan Love, the second half of the year, has been playing out of his mind.
Dude.
Their weapons look great. The Packers are so fucking good at drafting wide receivers, just no-name guys that fucking come out of nowhere and are so impressive. I think it's a very close game. I like the Packers in the spread. Ultimately, I think the Cowboys fucking find a way to sneak out a victory because they force a turnover.
Yep.
Right. I think the Cowboys probably win the turnover battle, And so they just get enough to get an extra field goal, and that's how they win. But I think it's going to be a fucking awesome game. I saw when they released the schedule, this was the one of the two that I was really looking forward to. And I think there were a lot of great matchups, but this one and then the next one we're going to talk about are the two best, most interesting games of the entire weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I'm really with you on this one. I do think it's going to be. Unfortunately, Cowboys will be the victors in this one, but I do like Packers with the points. I see this one a game-winning field goal for the Cowboys, unfortunately, at the final seconds. And the over-under 51.5 right now, at least according to ESPN. I like the under. I like the under. I think points will be hard to come by for whatever reason today. I just have that feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
So give me the under, and give me the Cowboys to get the overall win. But I like the Packers, at plus 7.5.
I haven't really thought too much about it, but now that we're talking about it, I think I'm going to do a teaser. I'll tease the Packers in some points, get like 13.5 points, tease the over up to like 56, 57, or the under up to that. Dude, that's free money. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to make money today. I can't wait because it's been a rough stretch.
You got to toss a little money out there.
Got to do it.
Our late game today. This is the game of the wild card right here. LA Rams headed to Detroit, take on them Lions, who are hosting a playoff game for the first time in 30 years. Rams finished the season at 10-7, and the Lions finish at a surprising 12-5. So funny. From what I remember, I'm not looking at all their games, but from the 12-5, when the Lions win, they fucking win, and when they lose, they fucking lose. Yeah. So like they're strange. They're just they have that Jekyll and Hyde about them. The Lions are currently favored at home by 3, and over under Ford Field is at 52.5. Josh, where are you leaning on this one?
Well. It's funny because I've been saying for weeks that my ideal Super Bowl would be Lions-Browns. I think that would be fucking awesome to have both of those teams, right? And I said,
of course, that would have been awesome.
Because I'm rooting for that, one of them is going to lose their opening matchup. So which one is it?
That's out of the way now.
Which one is it going to be? So I filled up my bracket. I had the Browns winning. And I guess we'll get into that. But I had the Browns winning. So now I feel like I had the Lions losing, right? Because
I didn't know that until you just told me that. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure all this out. So on my bracket, I've got the Rams beating the Lions. But now that the Browns have lost, I've got I think the Lions will win. I'm changing it. I'm not. The bracket is staying. The bracket is it's down.
Yeah, because you can't.
I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. But
you didn't fill one out on ESPN. You didn't do the
I did a Brandon B. Ned style with the paper.
Okay, I locked it in. I locked it in so I couldn't make any changes.
No. I mean, it's here. I'll hold it up so there you can see there's no changes. I've already updated it and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I think now I have to change. I have to pivot. Just in talking and on the podcast and maybe, in the sports book, Lions will win tonight because the Browns lost. But in my bracket, I have the Rams. So do with that information as you will.
Okay, there's the Josh logic, as we call it.
Or lack
I mean, no, I get it. I completely get it. And you know what? I agree with you even more because I also picked the Rams to win.
Oh, shit.
And my thought on this is that I think Stafford's going to be a fucking man possessed tonight.
I agree.
I can't wait. I think this is probably going to be the game of his life.
Yeah.
Like we saw the guy win a goddamn Super Bowl, but he's going to pick them apart. And once that Lions defense gets a little flustered, they get fucked up.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to pick them apart. He's going to have a fun time. And again, when the Lions lose, It could get ugly. It could get ugly. That said, I don't think it will. I think the Lions offense will hang in there, keep it close till the very end. But the Rams get that final possession and they're able to seal the deal at the way end. I hope it goes to overtime. That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Overtime in the Motor City. You love to see it. I don't know what the line is, but this game reeks of an over. So I will probably be playing the over for all the reasons you just said. Stafford is coming for blood. And dude, they're fucking God, talk about a team that just does well with wide receivers. Fucking Puka Nacua, 5th round pick. He's unbelievable. So yeah, the Lions are going to have a hard time slowing that offense down as long as Stafford stays dialed in. And don't forget that Jared Goff has a little revenge game going too. I mean, he led the Rams to a Super Bowl before Matt Stafford came in. They basically looked Jared Goff in the eyes and said, "You are the reason we didn't win that Super Bowl. We're going to go get a better version of you, an older version of you, to come in and lead us to the promised land." And then Matt Stafford went and fucking did it. So Jared Goff, that's been bubbling under the surface for him. He's ready to fucking go off too. I think it's going to be fireworks tonight. I think it's going to be an awesome game. I had the Rams coming out on top, but late game switch. I think Lions will win because the Browns lost. And
okay.
But I'm not changing the bracket. I'm still the brackets that's set in stone. But yeah, it's as far as what I'm going to be sprinkling in the old sports book. Probably Lions. All
right. Fair enough. I mean, I guess you can change your pick. It really doesn't fucking matter.
Well, no, it would fuck up a lot of things because then I would.
Oh yeah, then it'd fuck up your matchups.
Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of matchups, we got a matchup that moved because of all the snow up in Buffalo. So god damn it, weather. But I guess it's normal in January for a playoff game in Buffalo. Right. For things to get a little nasty up there.
It's like, who could have seen this coming?
They had to bump how many playoff games have been bumped? I mean, I don't remember that ever.
Fair.
But I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
And within the last fucking 15 years. And of course, I just don't remember every single playoff game. But the Steelers, they will be traveling up there in the bitter cold to play those Bills. There's talk that this one might get moved again if things don't clear up by tomorrow, and it could get bumped to Tuesday. But Steelers, who finished the season 10-7, they got a lot of help from the Tennessee Titans, getting into the playoffs. So, but that's Mike Tomlin for you. That's what he does. I mean, they had no business finishing the season 10-7. They started 3 different quarterbacks this year. So yeah, I mean, it's impressive. And the Bills only one game better, finishing 11-6. They did win the AFC East. So they'll be hosting that one. The Bills are currently favored by 10, and the over-under at 38.5 makes sense. Keep that point total low. Yeah.
That's even higher than I would have thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one scares me. I mean, I could, again, I'm 0-2. I could get every single one of my first round picks wrong. That would not surprise me because that's just how I roll. But I'm going with the Bills here. I just, come on. You stupid Bills. Like, get a win. You must win, and you should win this game. You are better than this year's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stupid Bills.
Because I'm already picturing in my head Josh Allen throwing 4 interceptions and being shitty Josh Allen. So and then the Bills defense what? Mason Rudolph, I'm just already picturing this, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Bills do what they're capable of and get the goddamn win. And they could win by fucking 14 plus points, even though points will be hard to come by. But yeah, give me the Bills winning at home. in the frigid temperatures. That's it.
I like what
See you next year.
I like what you're saying here because I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game.
Damn it.
And the main reason is because my bold predictions that we made the week after the Super Bowl have been so bad that I need this one to be right. I need this one. I need the Bills to struggle to make the wild card and Sean McDermott to get fired after an early playoff exit. I'm looking at it right here. It's got to happen. And I think it will happen. I think the Bills are notorious for just kind of choking in the playoffs. And yeah, if
it's true,
what's the number one reason why they do? Oh, Josh Allen turnovers. Okay, let's put him in a blizzard. Okay, let's get some turnovers then. And dude, Najee Harris has been really good the second half of the year. Shout out to Old Man Jones in the Fantasy Football League who made the trade for him, and he just started blowing it up. Now it was too little too late because the rest of my team was just fucking awful. But
we both had
rough seasons. And also big shout out to the Urban Cowboys.
Way to go, Urban Cowboys.
To go, Johnny and his squad upsetting the favorite Pittsburgh Eric to win it all. So big shout out to Johnny. I know he's listening right now. Johnny, love you, buddy. But no, I think the Steelers match up well against the Bills. I think that you talk about a team with no pressure, like they're just fucking, they shouldn't have been here, and they're just going to wheel and deal and not feel any of that. Meanwhile, the Bills know if they lose, Sean McDermott is fired. That's pressure. Josh Allen knows if he has a turnover-ridden game and fucks it up another year, that's pressure. And going on that unbelievable streak to get to the number 2 seed is impressive, but eventually that takes a toll and you're going to run out of gas, man. You can't floor it on the highway for hours at a time and not expect to fucking have to pull over and get some gas and take an L at the pumps. So I like the Steelers here. And I'm going to be pulling for them. So I've got them moving on.
I'm wondering, is Von Miller going to be playing?
Or I think he's out. I think he's out
because of that off the field shit that he's got going on. Right?
I think he's out, but I don't have that confirmed. My sources did not get back to me on.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up last second. I don't fucking know. All the prep work that we did for this episode.
we had 8 weeks to prep. And we didn't.
So I will say, obviously, if the Steelers, beat the Bills, won't be a shocker. I'll be very bummed because the Bills once again are the Bills. That said, if that happens Tuesday, Sean McDermott, see you later. He's officially out of there, as your prediction would stand. And then whoever we bring in as our head coach, I hope we sign Sean McDermott as our defensive coordinator. So lock it in.
Okay, there we go.
Because I think he's a solid defensive coordinator.
Definitely.
He's just a poo-poo head coach.
Yeah.
So, all right, the final game on the slate, Josh, the Philadelphia Eagles, who backed up into those playoffs.
Yeah.
They are headed to nice, cozy Tampa to take on them Buccaneers, who they won their shitty division at 9-8. Eagles finished the season 11-6, but that's because at one point they were 10-1. Yikes. So they just had a rough go of it at the end of the year there. They are favored by 3 points. Over under in this one is 43.5. A lot of people picking the Bucs just because of how ugly the Eagles have looked as of late. And you know what? I picked the Eagles, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. I picked the Cowboys. I picked the Eagles. I hope I'm wrong on both. But really what it boils down to is the same type of thing with the Cowboys and Packers is that, I picked who I think has the better squad. And, I think the Eagles have a better overall team than the Bucs, and it's playoff football. It's a different beast. And I think the Eagles feel a bit disrespected that they're only favored by 3 against the 9-8 Bucs. So give me the Eagles looking like the Eagles of last year in Tampa and getting that dub. Hope I'm wrong. And I don't have any money on it, so I really don't give a shit if the Bucks go in there and get the win.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong too, because nothing would make me happier than
the
Eagles starting the season 10-1 and losing to the Buccaneers in Tampa. Yeah. Oh, it would be so good. Losing, what would that be? 6 out of 7 down the stretch. Like that would be fucking so sweet.
And talk about coaches on the hot seat. Apparently, Sirianni's on the hot seat.
Yeah, if he loses, he might be out. After leading them to the Super Bowl last year. Fucking hilarious. Eagles fans booing their team. I saw I think they were 10-3 at this point, and they were booing their team, and I was just laughing because
that's Philly
for you. So yeah, I really hope they lose. I don't think they will. I think they win big. I will pick them to cover the spread. And I don't know what the line is looking like right now, but I think they win big. I think that the Tampa Bay's rushing defense will not be able to slow them down. Jalen Hurts has a bum finger on his throwing hand, but I don't think they're going to have to throw it very often. I think they're going to have designed runs for him. They're going to have DeAndre Swift involved in a big way, screen passes, etc. And you just look at a team with more experience. And the on the other side of the ball, a team led by Baker Mayfield. So I think the Eagles win pretty easily.
I'm with you there in terms of them covering that 3-point spread. I think they cover that easy. And the over-under in this one overall is 43.5. I like the over too.
Okay.
In Tampa. So for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away from that because I think it will be like a 20 to 17, 24-17 type game. So it would be.
That's true. The Bucks defense is an underrated unit, right?
Yeah, they're okay. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't picture an over, but I also don't picture that could go either way. I'm staying away from the over under, but I will be betting the Eagles to cover because I think they will. I think they win by a touchdown.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's our wild card games. Let's roll through. There's not much breakdown here. The rest of our bracket, because really it doesn't matter worth shit. Because 2 of my teams are already out of it. So just real quick, I had the Ravens hosting the Dolphins. Dolphins, see you later. So there goes that. And then I had the Bills hosting the Browns. And Browns, see you later.
Yeah.
My AFC championship, I had the Ravens and the Browns. Okay. So I just really wanted to see the Ravens versus Flacco.
Dude, that would be awesome.
I know. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Before I get to who won that game, I'll just go over to the NFC, where I had the 49ers hosting the Rams, the Cowboys hosting the Eagles. I think we're just destined to see that one in the divisional round. And the NFC Championship, so chalky, the Niners and the Cowboys. Super Bowl matchup, Josh, got the Ravens and the 49ers. And my Super Bowl champs, the Ravens. So very, very chalky there. But who gives a shit? I still feel pretty good about my Super Bowl matchup. Still feel pretty solid about that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. Both number one seeds.
Yeah.
All right. So thankfully I was on the Chiefs, so I still got them going. But in the AFC, I've got the Chiefs now facing the Texans, and the Chiefs winning that. Then I've got the Steelers going up to Baltimore, which I think will be a fucking awesome matchup.
That's a good one.
Now the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers because the Steelers are going to come off a very emotional high beating the Bills. So in the AFC Championship, I've got Ravens Chiefs in Baltimore, which gives Baltimore a huge advantage. They've been playing great at home, but I have the Chiefs pulling it off up there. I think they're just catching fire at the right time, which is very unfortunate. So the Chiefs will be going to the Super Bowl in my bracket. On the NFC side, I've got the same as you. I've got 49ers, Rams, and then Eagles, Cowboys. Now, the winner of those matchups, I think, will be the 49ers and the Eagles. I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles go into Dallas and say, not again. Not again, my friend. And again, I think they find the running game in this game, take it into Dallas, use it against them. That's the number one way to combat that Dallas pass rush is to fucking run it up their ass. And I think the Eagles will figure it out and get it done. So 49ers Eagles is your NFC championship game. 49ers come out on top because, dude, they are just so fucking good and they're well rested. And I love the 49ers. So with that said, my Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs 49ers. Look at that. It's
your prediction.
It's my prediction. Hey, look at
that.
So
it's definitely not going to happen.
Hey, look at that. Chiefs win 27-23. Look at that. Hey.
So you would still pick the Chiefs? Like, just not even paying attention to your bold prediction. You're still in your head would pick the Chiefs right now to beat the 49ers.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're catching fire at the right time. I think, teams ebb and flow, and they know that, like, okay, now it's time to get serious, you guys. And I think that they're going to steamroll through the playoffs and win. So now I will say,
but catching fire. I mean, the Ravens are fucking purple hot.
Yeah, they're cooling off. They're purple cool. They're purple rain right now, cooling off with this bye week. So I don't know.
All right. We'll see.
I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs can go into Kansas or go into Baltimore and win, and I think that they can. Obviously, they can win a Super Bowl because they have, and obviously, this was heavily influenced by my bold prediction, and I'm just digging my heels in. But I'm sticking with it, man, and I actually feel pretty good about it because nobody wants to see the Chiefs, which is why the Chiefs will fucking win.
Exactly. Yep. There you have it. Those are our playoff brackets, and I guess we'll touch base again here, Josh, in a week's time.
Divisional.
Get ready for the divisional round and see how things held up overall. I mean, again, I'm already 0-2, so could just completely. It could all fall apart from my bracket.
Yeah.
But,
now the problem,
at least my Super Bowl, is guaranteed. Super Bowl pick still has a chance for another week.
Yeah.
So
now the problem is I'm busy for the next few weeks, so I don't know if I'll have time to get
you too. Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a few months, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Later, buddy.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Peace.